And she referenced a particular academic who'd written this work called The Growth Mindset. On one of the weeks I'm in the US, I got to spend some time while in Miami speaking alongside Michael Phelps. You guys know Michael Phelps, 23-time gold medalist, the most decorated Olympic athlete of all time. Great guy, by the way. Just what a gent, what a scholar. Here's the thing though about having a growth mindset is you can have a growth mindset in an environment of scarcity. And the limitation of your mindset is still the environment that you're in. Hello family, I know it's been a long time since we've connected and I've been busy, I've been traveling, I've been all over the world, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a moment. But I wanted to come into a space today to talk a little bit about mindsets, and in particular about growth mindsets. So, I remember the first time I heard about growth mindset, it was probably around 2015 actually. It was my first year doing my EMBA, and we were going through this orientation initiation process. And the lady who was taking us for this induction program started talking to us about little blue people and big blue people. And I was like, this is interesting. And she referenced, and I forget her name now, but she referenced a particular academic who'd written this work called The Growth Mindset. And she argues, this academic does, that there are two types of mindset. There is a fixed mindset and there is a growth mindset. And she says that most people live in the fixed mindset, and that in life you really you want to have the growth mindset. And I just fell completely in love with this concept, completely in love with the idea. And the reason they were telling us this as we were onboarding onto the MBA program was, and I'll never forget the dean making this comment to us. The dean was like, she says to us, look, this is an MBA. So you're not here because you are masters of things. You're here to become masters of business. That's the masters in business administration. You're not masters yet, but you're here to become masters. And then she says, but in the process of accrual to mastery, you need to learn to be uncomfortable. You need to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And you need to be in a space where you allow yourself to be challenged, but more importantly, in a space where you are willing to be uncomfortable and grow. And then she said, most people fail in that process because most people live in the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is, this is who I am, this is what I know, this is what I'm capable of, this is what I'm good at, and this is where I'm going to stay. The growth mindset says the following. It says, this is where I am now. This is what I'm good at now. But I recognize that if I go through a particular process, I can grow myself and become a better person. Now, here's the thing about the growth mindset, which most people miss. There is no destination if you're a growth mindset driven person. There's only the next location. So you're never complete. Your growth journey is never complete. You're constantly becoming better. Crazy idea. So think about it this way, right? Let's imagine that you are like a finance professional and you work in banking or you work in auditing or something like this. The idea that you are never going to reach the pinnacle of your capability, that you're constantly going to be pursuing a better you, that at every single summit of excellence is presented to you a new summit, a new challenge for you to climb. Well, that's where continuous learning and development comes from. That's why even though you might graduate and qualify as a particular profession or professional in a particular profession, you can constantly become better. Growth mindset. I think I've got a growth mindset. I'm fairly well traveled. I've got decent exposure. I meet great people. I'll go all over the world. I'd like to think I've got a growth mindset. Here's the thing though about having a growth mindset is you can have a growth mindset in an environment of scarcity. And the limitation of your mindset is still the environment that you're in. Because you're in an environment of scarcity. So your approximation of what's possible is based on the environment that you see around you. So, you guys know I've been traveling recently, and I've been on tour, and I was out in the US. And on one of the weeks I'm in the US, I got to spend some time while in Miami speaking alongside Michael Phelps. You guys know Michael Phelps, 23-time gold medalist, the most decorated Olympic athlete of all time. Great guy, by the way. Just what a gent, what a scholar. And then I got to speak alongside Tia Claire Toomey, who, without question, is the most dominant athlete in the history of the CrossFit Games. She's won it, I want to say, 6 times now or something like this. She's a little pocket rocket, right? Because when she was standing next to me, she's only about yay high, but you can just tell she's all muscle, like 101% muscle, right? Great athlete, phenomenal human being. Then I got to spend some time meeting a couple of people who are in my industry and in my craft, and traveled out to Los Angeles, met with my manager and the team out there. But while I was in Miami, I got to drive around in a beautiful Lamborghini Aventador SV. Credit to the people at MPH, by the way. Lee and the team at MPH Club, thank you so much for making that happen. And to my brother at VIP Uber, thank you, man. I really appreciate you. So anyway, so I got to do this, and Ukliniso, who lives out in Miami, made the whole thing happen. Then made my way out to Los Angeles and met with friends who I've done work with. Some of them you've watched me on their platforms here on YouTube being interviewed, and watched how they live and watch how much abundance they have. And then begin to ask of myself, are they smarter than me? The answer was no. Are they more talented? No. Are they harder working? No. So what is it then that puts them in the position where they are 10 times more effective, they reach 10 times more people, they move 10 times faster than I do, and probably have 10 times the wealth? And I realized that the answer to that question is location. It's where they are. So once you realize that, that's a game changer conversation. Because you recognize that you can have, as I like to think I do, a growth mindset, but if you're operating in an environment of scarcity, then the mindset is limited by what it sees. In South Africa, from where we're shooting this, I am the highest paid speaker in the land. By design, and by consequence, I'm probably the highest paid speaker in the continent too. But did you know that even though I'm the highest paid speaker in the land, and arguably the highest paid speaker in the continent, I'm not even at the top quartile of what speakers of my caliber, with less experience than me and less credentials than me, are able to charge and earn in that market. So my mindset and how I think about pricing and value proposition for my clients is based on my environment, right? It's crazy. Like, I look at the number of leads we get and how many of those leads convert into actual business. And how many of the clients who come back to us go, oh, we just can't afford that. And I'm old enough to remember a time when 10 years ago, that was true too. And I was charging 10% of what I'm charging today. And clients said, oh, we can't afford that. I watch younger people coming into the industry now who are able to charge more because I push the boundaries of what you could build. So I constantly push the frontier of value. The point I'm making to you in this video is this. It's important to have a growth mindset, sure. But it's also important to have a growth mindset in an environment that is enabling of abundance. See, you can have a growth mindset all you want, but at the end of the day, the environment you're in either frames you or you frame it. Long time ago, you guys would remember, I posted a video and I said, if you don't change your environment will change you. So why am I saying this to you? Well, quite simply this. I think that particularly as Africans, We spend too much time pulling each other down and destroying each other for scraps because we have a mindset of scarcity. We spend too much time arguing over things that don't matter because we have a mindset of scarcity. We spend too much time taking hustlers and calling them scammers because we have a mindset of scarcity. And true, because we have the mindset of scarcity, scarcity results. This video is dedicated to those of you out there who can feel that you're better than where you are. This video is aimed at those of you out there who know that you're more capable than the people around you believe you are. This video is targeted at those of you out there who know you can do better, who want more, and are willing to do the work. And my advice to you is this: have a mindset of growth, a growth mindset. Force yourself into environments of abundance, not scarcity. And surround yourself only with conversations and with people who understand what is potentially possible, not only what has been achieved in the past. You see, the problem and the lie of the people who live in the world of scarcity is, sadly, they're not wrong. They live in the world of scarcity because that's the real world that they're in. It's got limitations. But in the world of abundance, we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as it can be. And it's yours and my job to create that world. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys this week. Sayonara.